Hey guys.
Hello.
Welcome to Historia.
Oh, it is. I'm Jamie.
I'm Kylie.
We have to record re-record this.
We were about 35 minutes in, and the audio got lost.
Oh no.
So we are we're starting back square one with this episode, which is okay. It happens to everyone.
Yes, it does.
Eventually. So
Kylie's known like half. It was originally a surprise for her.
yes, it was.
But now she already knows.
Yeah.
Halfway.
So what we did is we wanted to surprise each other with the next two topics we're doing. So this week, Jamie surprised me. We did a continent randomizer on Google because we're fancy, and Jamie got the continent Africa. So she had to pick something in Africa, and I didn't know what she would pick.
I still don't know what Kylie's doing, so
Yeah, it's still a surprise, and now the suspense is even longer.
yeah, stay tuned till for next week to hear Kylie's.
Mine is in Europe.
Europe.
That's all I'm saying for now. So I'm going to try to react still, even though I already know these things.
Yeah.
But we'll try to go through the beginning quick, since we've already talked about it.
Yeah. And I still gotta remake my spiel that I did for
Absolutely
the last one. So for these topics that we have been talking about the last like several episodes, we want to encourage you guys to look deeper into them. Like, since we're doing a new topic every single week, it's hard to really get the depth of everything. And I realized this when doing this topic, that I could have gone further into like my continent and just what I'm talking about, but like it's really hard to really grasp it into one episode, because it's just way too much. It's like, for this topic, it could be a whole series. But we just want to keep introducing you all to new topics every week. So this is pretty much an encouragement to get you guys out there to explore more of it yourselves, and let us know like what you find too, because I'm always interested to be educated, to learn more. So,
I agree, definitely.
Yeah. So if we don't have every interesting fact about whatever we're talking about, like with like the Titanic or with Prohibition, or just whatever we talk about.
Pompeii.
All of that. Yeah. All of them. Like,
we can't possibly fit every detail.
No.
For one, that would be like a 5-hour long episode.
Oh my God, I know. It's just, research is hard, because sometimes you really, really have to dig hard into it, and just, it's hard to find it sometimes. Like, you just have to keep digging, and that takes a long time. Like, why do you think like thesis or like doctorates, whatever, like they take all semester, like 6 months to get done.
Yeah.
Plus, just because they have to get their research, and I don't think you want us to just, for every episode, just to go blank for 6 months.
Exactly, yeah. No, we don't need that.
But anyway, let's jump into this week's. I just want to give a little side note. Disclaimer that this is a really heavy one. So for mine, it's really heavy. We're going to give you a heavy one this week, but thankfully next week, Kylie's going to provide us with a more lighthearted one.
It's kind of scary, but mostly lighthearted and fun.
Oh, God.
It's kind of terrifying, though.
This one is definitely just like, I'm hoping that all of you are just like disgusted for what happened. So, and also there's like a thunderstorm going on right now, so it's like perfect setting, like atmosphere, like it's gonna be great. Like it's just gonna be like, ooh, oh,
what's gonna happen next?
What's gonna happen? So, are you ready to hear? Even though you know.
let's get back in there, and I'll pretend that I don't remember anything you told me 20 minutes ago.
So this week I'm going to be talking about the Belgium genocide in the Congo. From 1885 to 1908.
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
And I've never heard of this, so I'm excited to hear more about it.
You only know half of it at this point.
I only know the geography and a little bit about the beginning.
Yeah, so it's really sad. But yeah, they don't teach this in school, which is really unfortunate. And I was telling Kylie before our thing got erased that I didn't learn it in college. and one of the professors in my Latin America class, she was also an African studies professor, and she was talking about this specific topic, or just the colonization of the Congo from Belgium. And she was just like, it's dark, it's deep. And I was like, I'm in trance, I want to know more. But it didn't work with my schedule, so now I'm doing independent research for it.
Woohoo!
And I'm sharing it all to you.
I love it.
Let's get started. So, I'm going to first introduce the Congo. Pretty much just the geography of it. I'm going to give you a geography lesson. Just know that I am terrible with geography. I got a B in it. But it was still fun.
It's all that matters.
Yeah. Ruby?
Oh,
no.
just like last time.
What are you doing?
Ruby's back in Jamie's lap, just like last time we tried to record.
She smells like syrup. Todd's freaking hair everywhere in my mouth. Ew. I got a really tubby, fat, hairy cat. She's got a small head, though. So the Congo was during the reign of Belgium in there. It was called the Congo Free State. So pretty much when they came in, that's what it was called, but it does change throughout history for the name. So now I'm going to give like a little bit of the geography, or just pretty much whatever, like Congo itself, like what makes it so appealing to the eye. So one of the big things about Congo is the Congo River Basin, which is about 13% of the world's hydroelectric power. So the other cool thing about the Congo is that 1/3 of it is Africa's rainforest. So there is a lot of trees and a lot of rainforest. It's really thick. Really, there's a lot going on. And of course, people are appealed to that.
Of course.
So the other cool thing is that there's over 10,000 species of plants, including flower life, plant life, just so much going on that's just so vibrant. But 10,000 species, that's a lot going on.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to kill it? Why? I don't get it. So the Congo is also, the Congo River is the second largest river in the world in terms of flow volume. So that is one of the appealing things to it. I believe the Nile is the biggest.
Yes, it is. I teach that.
Ooh. But yeah, the Congo River is massive. And that is like, that draws attention, especially for people who are wanting to export items, as I will talk about later. But this was a huge appeal for the Congo. Mm-hmm. So the other cool thing is that there's also hundreds of species of fish. So if you're a big fisherman,
it's the place to be.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that they're pretty dangerous fish. Beware.
Spiky.
I
don't know.
I think lionfish are in that area, aren't they? Or it's off the Atlantic somewhere around Africa.
I'm not a fish person. I don't know.
I love lionfish, but they're very invasive.
Yeah.
They're so cool looking, but yeah, they just freaking grow. They just like populate like crazy, and it's just like, and they're super poisonous, and so they're not good, which is sad.
Ugh.
But they're so cool. So now I'm going to talk more about like the environmental setting of just like habitat, kind of just vegetation, or just, I don't know what it's called.
The environment,
or like
I don't remember
what the. I don't know. I'm not a geographer.
No, you already said habitat.
It's not habitat, is it?
You're talking about just like the living area. That's just a.
I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to dive on in. So the north and south is a mixture of savanna and grassland. So it's very kind of dry, kind of just like what you would think of Africa is the savanna.
Deserty.
Yeah, with like lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my.
Oh my.
Probably not bears, but.
Let's hope not.
Probably, I don't think tigers either.
Just lions.
Just lions. Elephants too. Which elephants become very important into this one too, which is really sad.
I feel like I'm gonna cry.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
He leaves.
I'm gonna cry because I love elephants.
Yeah, so it's really sad.
Oh no. I didn't know animals were involved.
Oh yeah, I didn't tell Kylie this. Yeah, animals are involved.
Shit.
So
What are we gonna do, Ruby?
She's just like, whatever. She's my little tiger. So, a very fat one. So, on the east coast, or like the eastern side of the Congo, it includes mountains. Mm-hmm. So, the altitude gets up to about 10 to 12,000 feet, just normal, which is really high because here in Colorado, like where we're located, it's about 7,000 feet, a little over. Pikes Peak is about 14,000.
Yes, it's 14,000 feet because we call them 14ers.
Boop, boop. Okay. So, yeah, their mountains get pretty high, which I'm sure they're really pretty too, which is unfortunate. And then the south, I already said the south, but the west is where the Atlantic is. So they also have oceans, so they have pretty much everything going on there, which is nice because it's like, if I want to go like mountain climbing, I'll just go to the east. But if I want to go to the ocean, I can just go west.
A little bit of everything. Whatever you're feeling that day, you can have it.
So the climate itself is very rainy, especially where like the rainforest is. There's long periods of rain. So if you're not a rain person,
don't go
because it's very rainy. Even in like the drier places, it still rains quite a bit. I'm guessing not in the savannah as much. That's probably where it's more dry. It still gets rain, but probably not nearly as much as like the mountains or probably the Atlantic side.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay. Lightning. Hello.
Okay, I'm ready for it. That was really close. No?
Okay. Guess not. Oh.
That was pathetic.
Yeah, that lightning looked way closer. Oh wow. Okay, but it's a big one.
Ooh.
That was long.
Ooh.
I hope you guys heard that. That'd be fun.
Okay, I can't tell if that was like dimming. I was like, I don't know.
I'm so scared if it's gonna stop again.
So, even though this place is like so unique, and I think it would be a really cool place to explore, even though it can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
As any place that you go to, it can be very dangerous.
For sure.
There's also a lot of problems that are going on with it because of human interaction. Mm-hmm. So this is the declining of environmental degradation, deforestation, human enrichment, and poaching. Yeah.
And poaching.
Poaching becomes a really big thing in this topic today. Yeah, I know. Poachers are the worst on this planet. They belong from our... when I was covering Hades.
Yeah.
He belongs like along with like anyone who's doing that kind of poaching. Down with the Titans.
Yes.
Like not even where Hitler is, but down with the Titans.
Screw you, poachers.
It's like, it's so sad.
Yeah, leave them alone.
Because they do it in front of babies too, especially with like elephants, which...
I'm gonna cry during this topic today.
It's not like a huge... like something that I'm going to go into depth about, but it's just something that when they're...
it's involved.
Yeah. So, the other crazy thing about like Africa, especially the Congo, is that it's potentially one of the richest mining countries in Africa, like the Congo in general. Like there's so much like different, God, what's it called? It was like GDP, gross domestic like product. I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff that can be extracted. So This is including diamond, copper, cobalt. In this specific one, they were trying to extract to get rubber, which becomes like the huge problem is that the guy that I'm talking about, he just, like the king of Belgium, was just trying so hard to like produce so much rubber that he didn't care about who was producing it.
Okay, yeah.
So... but diamond, I was like, ooh. And it's so sad because if they did it independently as like a country, they would become a very, very rich country. But because colonizers came in and were like, we're going to take charge of this. Like, we're going to have our own, countries, like, be in charge of it. Like, you're not going to get, like, dirt for anything. Mm. And so they never really had a chance to really become, like, a huge successful country extracting these products because other countries came in and did it for them and didn't give them a cut. Mm-hmm. The problems not only were other people like coming in and just like taking the land and just being like, hey, we're now going to extract these items, but ourselves, and not like give you anything for it. But like the problems that also like occurred that really didn't give the Congo to be as successful as I know it could be because of like colonization was also the unstable politics, the corruption, smuggling, so much smuggling.
All the fun stuff.
So much smuggling. And the shortage of capital, which is really unfortunate.
Wow.
But, and of course, like, all these countries were like, they will do whatever it takes to get what they want and to make their countries more successful by ruining another's.
Right.
So, now I'm going to be talking about Belgium, because they are just as much as a part as the people of the Congo, because they are the ones who colonized it. So, Belgium became a new nation in 1830. This was after a revolution occurred, and they finally were just like, they finally got onto their own 2 feet, and Leopold I was like, hey, we're going to really care more about our people and kind of build our country through just the social class kind of work its way, like build up to become a strong nation within. But then his son came along, Leopold II, was like, no. I want to expand outside this country. So kind of looking at like the Asia area first was kind of like, hey, let's do some trading. Let's do some exporting. Like, yay. But then he caught interest around Africa, because a lot of places were starting, because the slave trade was like starting to end around here.
Yeah.
Around this time. And so this was causing a lot of people's interest of just like, well, we're no longer stealing people to enslave them. Let's go colonize them now to make them like us.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what they did, which is just as fucked up.
They're like, yeah, that's better. Sure.
Yeah. And so, like, the continent of Africa didn't really stand a chance because there was so many, if it wasn't the slave trade, it was people trying, other people from around the world to pretty much make them into them. Even though they're like, you're still not as like significant as us or like as good as us, we're still gonna try. And it's just like, dude,
all right,
leave it alone.
Yeah, relax, please.
Relax. So this also encouraged when other countries were starting to colonize, especially Belgium, was through religion, especially Catholicism. But like, I feel like when it came down to it, it was all about money.
Yeah.
Like they tried everything to make them just like them, especially with religion. And that carries over for generations. Like, I believe that area is very French dominated, and like it has a huge French influence and religion. So pretty much every continent that is colonized. But that's just how it is. That's history. Yeah. You can't erase that.
Right.
So, so that's what the Congo really tried to do, or the Belgians tried to do, was put their Catholic belief. But they also, I feel like Leopold didn't really care much for that. He just wanted money.
Yeah.
So, or Leopold II. So when I say Leopold, I'm not talking about his father. I'm talking about the second, but I don't want to keep saying that. I'll call him Leo if I have to.
Yeah, just shorten it. Why not?
So it pretty much started with Leopold II when he was just like, hey, I want to start colonizing. Like, you okay with that? People are like, I don't know. But he did everything to like convince people to do so, which is like the crazy part. So they adopted representative democracy, but they still had a monarch, which I was telling Kylie before this got erased that it's weird because then it's not really a democracy if they have like a monarch, because they were also focusing on the elitists too to make like the decisions and stuff. Because Leopold just completely disregarded his father and like the social class, pretty much tried to outreach to them. He was trying to outreach to the elites now. So this is who he was trying to convince from the public eye, was all the rich people, the governments, just pretty much get on their good side. And he made sure of it.
Yeah.
So, and this would also impact like after his death too, which is really unfortunate. So, because he was not the best guy in my eyes. So, So the Congo was a very interesting place for people that we're looking at because Germany was interested, Great Britain was interested, France was interested, even Portugal was interested. They were all just like, this Congo place is pretty cool, because there were different explorers going out and coming back saying like, hey, this place is really cool. Like, there's a lot of rainforest. There's a lot of like different things that you can extract from there. Like, there's a savanna. Like, there's so many animals that can be beneficial to us. And this attracted all of these countries. Like, we need our hands into this territory. Yeah. And even Belgium was kind of like in the back, like just done with just bringing in the new ruler. There, he was just like, okay, I want to be up there. I want to do that. I want to put our foot into that. I want to export more goods and make our country richer. Because he was doing it not to pretty much make the Congo richer for that area, for what they were colonizing. He wanted to make Belgium richer. Mm-hmm. So he didn't even care about the Congo when it came down to it. He wanted to use that money to make his own country better. Which is like, you get that, but it's just like, you're also like, you have to make the country that you're extracting these from like better too.
Yeah, that's messed up, and I feel like that happens so much in history.
It does, especially with colonization.
They're focused on their own country and not so much what they're taking from, you know? It's
exactly. Like, well, they try to erase that country's culture.
Yeah.
Which we have seen way too much. We still see it today.
Absolutely.
And it's really sad, but like,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Right.
So we can try and change it. Like, I love when other people are like representing their culture. Like, I love it. Especially their traditions, especially indigenous. Like,
yeah,
you go, Glen Coco.
Yes, exactly.
So
keep doing it.
You keep doing it. So with this interest from different countries in the Congo, and Leopold wanting to really push into getting their foot into that door too, it was in the 1870s that he was just like, okay, I really want to get to the Congo.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go there myself, but I want to like go there. So in 1876, he held a international geographic conference in Brussels, pretty much declaring his interest in the Congo and pretty much saying like, hey, I'm going down there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put my foot in there, like, deal with it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And everybody was like, okay, like, be on your best behavior. And he was like, whatever. I'm going there. I'm just letting y'all know you came to Brussels just for me to say that.
He's on his own agenda.
Pretty much, yeah. So after having this conference, he sent down an explorer named Stanley to set up stations. I didn't get a last name.
His name's just Stanley, guys.
Stan the man.
Yeah.
So he pretty much went down there with a team to set up pretty much what would be the Belgians' state and like territory, like area for Belgium. I'm pretty sure I just said that.
We know the Congo.
We know what you're saying. Yeah. So what they did was that to gain more favor and pretty much set their interest into the Congo and just be like, hey, we're here on like good agenda, they made an organization that they tied into called the Committee for Studies of the Upper Congo. So pretty much what they wanted people to believe was that they were doing this for the good of the Congo to learn more about it.
Yeah.
So this organization was to pretty much research, report back, doing what they can to just like learn more about the Congo.
Yeah.
But this also they also had another committee that they were going to add into it to confuse more of the people of like what their true agenda was. So in 1879, Stanley and his team finally set up the post of just like the little village of what they were going to do to set up for extraction. Yeah. Pretty much. But they didn't want people really to know about what they were doing. They just were like, this is a committee that we're learning about the Congo. Like, yay, yay.
That's all it is, woohoo.
So where they set up was what is now known as Kisangani. This committee that they then built was an ALC, which is the International Association of Congo, or ATC. I don't know. I can't even read my own handwriting. It's really bad. It's the International Association in Congo.
Okay.
So this organization was pretty much just like, what are they doing? Like, they're doing research on the Congo, but they're also doing like an international like association of pretty much them trying to like take control of their section of the Congo. Like, people were just like, what the heck is going on? And that was like the confusion when I kept going through my my research. I was like, this dude was like literally pretty much just like diverting people's directions like all over the place so they wouldn't look straight ahead and see the real issue or the real thing that was going on. Like, he tried so hard to hide it. Yeah. He did a good job at it for like a few years, but then people caught on.
Yeah.
Which is good that people finally caught on, because who knows how long this would have gone on. Like, it's so unfortunate. So, his motives were very, very, very rich person, kind of like a ruler. Mm-hmm. His motives were very ruler, colonizer.
Yeah.
What they wanted. So he wanted a monopoly of trade, and he would do anything to do it. He did not care about free trade that he told everybody that he was doing. He just wanted money. Mm-hmm. And he didn't care how he got it or who he had to go through to get it. He just wanted it for himself, his country. He did not care about the Congo. He just wanted whatever, because he wasn't there. I don't even think he stepped foot in the Congo because he was fearful of the diseases. Yeah, and I'm just like, no shit, dude.
He sounds awesome.
Yeah.
No shit, dude. Come on.
So, during this time when they finally landed around 1879, that's when Britain and France were like were also in sections of the Congo, and we're just like, hey, dude, what's going on? And he was just like, just free trade. I'm just here, not much. And Britain and France are like, they hate each other. They're like button heads all the time, fighting wars, doing whatever. And so Belgium was like, well, I can't be on like the bad sides of like both of them, so I'm just going to get on the good side of one of them. And that ended up being France. So we pretty much, Belgium decided to pair with France and just kind of like, because I bet it was just easier for them to really like kind of communicate too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And so he was just like, hey, I'm going to give you rights to like my country for like when I leave, you can take care of it and whatnot. So pretty much what he did was jumping through hoops again to make it tied to, not tied to him or linked to him in the end, if anything went down. So pretty much like France would be, is like the middleman. And especially with like France colonizing so many different areas too, they were just like, okay, this is just like a normal one that they're trying to colonize again to make the people pretty much be like them. They didn't know the real motive that he was trying to hide, or like that he was hiding of trade or exporting stuff or like extracting.
Makes sense.
Minerals and stuff.
Yeah.
He did not. He was smart about it. But of course, this would also be like a problem in the end that he would have to face. Mm-hmm. So, next one.
I think we're finally caught up to where we...
Yes! Finally! So, I have Leopold's alternative motives.
Ooh!
I have them all. I have all my sections planned out.
Love that.
I love it too. So, during this time, the slave trade was pretty much over, 1890s, and Brazil, that's when it ended, like officially, like just slavery. But the slave trade was ended for quite a while. But this didn't stop Leopold from like using like the same tactics, because he knew that he couldn't just like flat out get slaves, because then people would catch on real quick.
Right.
So he had to use like a different tactic of pretty much working the people that he wanted, but also to the public eye seemed like, hey, he's doing an okay thing. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, he's in the Congo. And so what he did was have anti-slavery campaigns. Oh. So in the public eye, he looked like he was doing, like, a great thing. Like, he was getting people to work for him. Like, he was doing great for his free trade. Like, he had people working where, honestly, he was not. It was really bad. Like, he used everything to prove that.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it was really sad. So, he was pretty much having forced labor at this point. So it's kind of just like, you know, like we have child labor laws and stuff like that. So they would always, like, in the 1800s, they were just working people pretty much to death.
Yeah.
Or just like overworking people for like a minimal wage. And that's why we have so many labor movements.
Big yikes.
Yeah. But for the Congo, like, people didn't really care or really know too much about what was going on, so he used that to his advantage. Yeah, and that's what people do.
That's so bad.
Exactly. They're like, well, these people don't really, like, the whole planet, like all these other countries, they don't care what I'm gonna do. So
yeah.
You know what?
Oh my God.
But, like, in reality, it's like you're pretty much treating them like slaves.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing, but you're saying, like, oh, I'm paying them, or like
I'm doing something good,
food and shelter. It's like,
nah,
no.
buddy.
When you're making these people work that much,
no,
for like nothing, like, that's ridiculous. And they couldn't get out of it, because if they try, they would just be like, nope, you're done.
Yeah.
So, and you're done does not mean you're fired.
Exactly.
So, this dude, though, he loved to spend money. Leopold. He loved to spend money. So not only was he putting money into his own country, but he was sinking heavily into the Congo of his just pretty much his military that he was providing for over there to make sure everybody was in check.
Yeah.
And then he was also doing, like, military campaigns out there too. So he never visited, but he was like, here's money, money, money. So he was putting so much money into it. Like, he gained, out of this whole thing, he gained nothing. He wasted so much money.
That's so weird.
Yeah, because he was greedy, and he just wanted to keep, for the whole time, he just kept wanting to bring back that money. But because he was spending it just as much as he was getting back, like,
yeah,
you're not going to make anything, and you're just going to make your situation worse.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So, when this wasn't really working, like the campaigns, he was just wasting so much money, and he was just like, okay, I need to think of something new to get more money other than just these campaigns, because I'm just wasting money at this point.
Right.
That he introduced the domain system. So what this means is that anything that the indigenous people did not own, so pretty much just like land that just was unoccupied.
Yeah.
He said that is the free state of the Congos. And so I technically own it. Since he is part of that organization. So pretty much anything that the indigenous people did not have as like their own, that their own villages, anything outside of that, he was like, that's mine.
What?
Yeah. This
oh my God.
Off a lot of the countries, because he was like, well, technically everything that isn't occupied is the state of Congo. I'm like the ruler of this free state of the Congo, so it's mine.
Wow.
This pissed off the Germans.
Clever.
Yeah, so this pissed off the Germans. Berlin was like, are you kidding me? Because they accused him that he was killing off free enterprise. So, like, he was pretty much he was destroying the purpose of them to pretty much colonize. Yeah. And they got pissed about that. And he was just like, sorry, so sad. Like, oh my God. And so this actually was a bad decision on his part, because then this was causing more attention on him.
Oh, yeah.
This dude did not understand what being, like, inconspicuous is. He didn't understand, like, you got to keep it low-key. He kept it so high-key, and it's like, dude, no wonder why you freaking got caught.
He thinks he can get away with anything.
Exactly.
He's like, I'm sneaky. Look at me.
Well, the thing is that he didn't really it's hard during this time to communicate with one another because you didn't have like a cell phone to pick up and be like, hey, this is what's going on.
Right.
Like they had to have either someone send it or the mail system was working by then. And so they would have to mail like letters and stuff. So that took like a couple weeks or so. So it was like the communication, I was just like, I don't know how anything got done.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we're now at the part of the brutality of the Congolese people. Because during this time, he was just like, he was trying to gain as much profit as he could possible. He was just like, we need to make so much money so I can make my money back from spending it.
Yeah.
But pretty much he was very greedy and was just like, hey, we need to friggin' pick up our pace. Even though they were doing the best that they could. But because they had shitty conditions, like, what did you expect?
Right.
So pretty much he was just like, hey, we need a new tactic. We need to decide on how we're going to make this money. And he took violence instead of just giving them better conditions, more people having people want to do it, or even just take a step back to just be like, we don't need to get it all at once. Like, this is going to take years to do it, but he just wanted it so quick.
Yeah.
That I don't get it. But, so what Leopold ended up like initiating, what they ended up doing, because I feel like at the end of this, pretty much the military was just taking everything, or like the security and stuff was just taking it into their own hands. Mm-hmm. Like, Leopold had no say in what was going on at that point. Because he wasn't there to see what was going on, but he didn't care. He was just like, do whatever it takes. Like, I want my money. And so the military, or the people just who were in charge of just the Congolese helping, like, the workers, they're just like, okay, we'll do what we want.
Ooh.
Which is not good.
Yeah, no. I can already tell.
Because if you know anything from the Stanford experiment, no. Look it up. It did not go well. They lasted literally like a day.
Yeah.
It was so bad. God. I would like to cover that one. That one's pretty. Because that I want to do because it deals with like history, but also like sociology aspects.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. So, now, the people would make the Congolese, or like the higher ups, like the military security people, would make the Congolese people work unfathomable hours. Like, they were working so much.
Of course they were.
Yeah, that's because horrible. They were like, we need as much production to be made as possible, so you're not sleeping tonight.
Oh.
Yeah. So this was like a huge problem for them working so much, and if anybody said anything, resisted even an ounce, violence would be taken into action, because that is what people think will put people in check, is violence, as we have seen
everywhere.
Forever. Everywhere now, then, whatever. It's so sad. So, Leopold's greed would lead to destruction of villages. There would be executions, hostage taking, and there would be corporal punishment, which is really sad. One thing that is devastating is that children were taken at an early age from their family to be put into the Congo or Belgians like military, and pretty much be brainwashed and forced to participate in the military.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's oh God, it's so sad, because what they would do is that they would give them weapons, be like, if these people are out of line, shoot them. I want the bullet and I want their hands.
My God.
They would cut off people's hands.
Oh.
Yeah, it was, oh God, it was so, oh. And these poor people, God, just looking at photos, like, I don't, there were still photos then, and looking at some of them, you're just like, oh my God, it's so sad. They were starved. They were nothing but skeletons.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was for the ones that were alive.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is so sad.
It was so sad. And what's even more devastating is that the military would turn the Congolese people against one another.
Oh.
Yeah, so they would be like, well, you did this, but like your buddy ratted out on you. And so they would like they would fight each other. They would get pissed off at one another. And so it was just like a big game to them at that point. They were just like, we're having fun with this. Let's turn the people against each other and see what happens. Like, it wasn't even about the extraction anymore. It was just torturing.
It's like, release the Kraken.
Honestly. It was so bad. So, this, like, just the brutality of, like, being murdered, or, like, the murders and just the executions and stuff were a big percentage of the people that died. But another big percentage that killed off a lot of the Congolese people were smallpox.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because when you have colonizers go to an area, they forget about diseases.
Yeah.
And so that caused a lot of death, were the disease of smallpox. Which is really sad. I think it was smallpox, too, that wiped out the indigenous people in Central America, or around like South America. I know it was disease that wiped out.
It was a disease.
It was like 95% of the population in South Africa.
Was it smallpox?
Latin America. I thought it was smallpox, but it could be a variety of different things. Yeah. I'll look into that eventually.
Some type of disease.
Yeah. Which is sad, but it also happened to the Congolese people. Is that I believe smallpox was probably the best way to go in this situation.
Yeah, honestly.
Because
I'd rather have that.
Yeah, the other stuff was just pure torture.
Right.
So others die from starvation or exhaustion. So a lot of the pictures, if you look at them, these people are just skin and bone because they weren't feeding them, and they didn't have anybody, because they were just working them so much to extract like the diamonds, the rubber, or get ivory from elephants.
Oh.
If you don't know what ivory is, it's their tusks. So if it wasn't that, they didn't focus on harvesting. And if they did, there wasn't enough because there were so many people that they were forcing to work.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was so bad that human bones, when someone finally visited the post, they went in, or they looked in, I'll talk about them later, but there were human bones just laying around.
My God.
Full skeletons sometimes there was just skulls.
Oh.
And the reason behind this is that they got too tired of just burying bodies. So they were just like, leave them there.
Wow.
So if they like freaking executed someone, they would just be like, leave them there. I don't want to bury him.
What?
Yeah. It's just...
That's insane.
It's really sad. But, and it's devastating too, because some would be shot dead.
Yeah.
Because they would try to plant food for themselves. Mm-hmm. Because there wasn't enough. So they were trying to be farmers and be like, we're trying to plant more so we can sustain, so we can work. But they didn't like that. They're like, no, you need to focus solely on excavating these minerals, like rubber.
Yeah.
You need to not do that. So if they got caught, they were shot and dead.
My God.
Yeah. Which is so sad, because like they just then got rid of 2 people to help them.
Yeah.
So
barely given a chance.
Yeah, their ideas for thinking that was a good idea was bad. It was bad.
Their good idea was actually really bad.
Yeah, they thought, oh, well, we're going to murder these people that have been helping us out just to, like, you know,
just to
teach them a lesson.
LOL. It's going to be so
like,
funny.
No, you just got rid of 2 people that could have helped you out if you properly fed them, but no, you didn't.
Yeah, nice
they tried
going.
to help you out, but no. So they are freaking dumbasses.
Oh, yeah. To the max.
Red Foreman. So, this was pretty much all for rubber. And they would also kill people as repercussion for not having some sufficient amounts of food. So, because they had lack of food, they would just start executing people.
Jeez.
Because they wanted to save it, and they're like, well, there's too many people here right now, so we gotta kill you. So.
Wow.
And it was just... And then corporal punishment, they would end up doing if you tried to pretty much refute anything that would say, like, you're done. Like, you would be slashed, your hands would be cut off. It was really bad. Yeah, like, they took it to the max. And, of course, like, people weren't understanding what was going on.
That's insane.
It's uncertain how many people died during this genocide, but it's estimated to 1 million to 15 million.
What?
Especially by the end of the colonization of Belgium. I think it was around,
1 million to 15 million?
Yeah. There was a lot of people that died.
Oh my God.
And it's so sad that not a lot of people know about this topic.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I'm mad that I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's really sad.
It's for educating you guys.
Yeah, and this was a significant amount of the Congo's population. It was a lot. So pretty much anybody that walked into the territory of the Belgians were pretty much dead.
Oh.
Like, even if they were still alive, it's like, you're going to be dead within, like, the next year or two.
You don't have a chance.
Yeah.
So you're a goner.
By 1904, the British were getting pretty suspicious of what was going on in Belgium, like the Belgian Congo. They were just kind of like, what's going on over there? Like, I smell death. And they're like, no, nothing's going on. It's all cool here. Oh, and he was like, no, it's not. Brittany was like, no, it's not.
Yeah, you can't hide that shit.
No. And so Great Britain was like, we're going to check this out. So they sent one of their government consuls of their region, like in the region, Roger Casement, out to go check out what was going on at the posts there. And he saw everything that was going on. Like, he walked into like the front gates and just saw bodies just laying there dead.
Wow.
And skeletons. And he was like, what the hell is this? Oh. And then witnessing what was going on, just seeing people starved. He was just like, it's terrible. He went back to Great Britain and was like, dude, this is really bad. You gotta check it out. Mm-hmm. And Britain was like, okay, what's going on? And he was pretty much told them, like, what they're doing is that they're trying to extract rubber to, like, make profit, and ivory. Like, they're doing all of this to make a profit, and they're doing it pretty much by enslaving the Congolese people. Britain was like, hello, what? And Roger was just like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, I walked in and I saw freaking dead bodies everywhere, and I asked them what the hell happened. Like, why are there bodies here?
And there's millions.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they would respond, yeah, we just are too tired to bury them. Because
What?
there's too many.
Oh,
there's too many.
God.
Like, we buried so many that it's just like, I'm pretty sure they ran out of room.
Oh.
And of course the military is just like, well, this is what we're just told to do. Like, pretty much just like, no. So the British were like, oh, hell nah. Like, colonization, like, we totally get, but, like, doing this genocide?
Not cool, bro.
Not really. Even though, like, Great Britain has its times.
They all do.
They threatened Belgium and was like, you need to stop what you're doing. Like, this is really bad. And Belgium was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, and this dude probably was, like, high on something. Like,
for sure.
He didn't know what he saw. Like, he was wrong. And this would go on for years. He would fight with, like, the, like, international, like, authorities and stuff like that. He'd be like, there's nothing going on. Like, it's fine. It's all good. They're like, no, it's not. Like, we had someone check it out. Like, this isn't good. He was just like, nah, it's fine. It's fine. And so finally, he was just like, okay, I did do something.
Of course.
Pretty bad. So finally in 1908, Belgium annexed the Congo and was just like, okay, we're going to stop what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, we still want to stay in the Congo, but we're going to stop this.
Right.
Because there's still so much history of the colonization of Belgium, but pretty much Leopold II's, like, his, like, go at it was done.
Yeah.
A year later, he died. And that was pretty much, like, his, like, I'm done.
Oh, yeah, because he died.
Because he died.
He can't do much more.
No.
He can haunt them.
Woo. But the So they were finally done with like the genocide that was going on, but still so many lives were still lost because they were still colonizing the area, still colonizing Congo. They just did it a little bit differently because from what happened, they didn't want to recreate that, which is like completely understanding. But like what pisses me off is that over time, his actions were watered down. So he killed millions of people.
Yeah.
But over time, they're like, oh, he just, he was just wanting to export goods. And he did so, like, at an extreme cost. And then eventually you're like, he is a great king.
Oh.
So it eventually became that in his death, he was seen as a better man than when he was alive. When it's just like, are you kidding me? Because the people who knew of what happened and seeing what happened kept quiet. They never said anything. They never outspoke because they didn't want his legacy to be tainted.
Oh my God.
And it's just like, freaking taint that man.
Yeah.
Freaking ruin him.
Right?
I would. I'd probably get killed, but
That sucks that he has like a good reputation, like a good...
Well, yeah, like there was, I was just going through articles when I was first going through my my research, and I found, I don't know, I think it was in Belgium, and they have a statue of Leopold II there, and he's like on his horse, like all proud.
Of course he is.
And you have these Black Belgian citizens. I believe their families were immigrants from the Congo, holding up like a flag there in front of them, and it's just like, oh, I get that. Like, be
for
like,
sure.
they deserve
a bigger
better.
statue than him.
Exactly, because they went through so much brutality, and it's just like, you're like, for the Belgians, they just saw him as like a great ruler trying to expand, but it's like you're not looking at the bigger picture of what he did to get there, which is really sad. And they watered that down, and it wasn't until like until not that long ago, it was over a century, that they had this watered down perspective of him, of like, he didn't do that bad.
Yeah.
They thought that, oh, he did such like a great thing. It wasn't.
He's the king.
Yeah. He was the king. He's a great ruler. Like, we should praise him. Like, he didn't screw us over.
Okay, yeah.
That's why. Because he screwed over a different country, he didn't screw over theirs. Mm-hmm. So, of course, he was seen as like this almighty dude, but in the end, when people started to realize and start to do research of like what he actually did, that's when, like, especially now,
there's the food.
Every episode.
Every single time.
So excited.
Just watches it fall.
You gonna eat it?
Go eat. Go eat. I almost called her Harley.
Okay.
That's not Harley.
Well, she eats her food. But, so, yeah, it wasn't until like a century later that people started to realize, like, especially in the 1980s, when finally the Congo was like, we want to be independent from everybody.
Yeah.
That they finally realized how fucked up Leopold made the Congo when they first entered Belgium, or the Congo, like the Belgians entered the Congo, and it's just like, dude,
wow.
So that was the genocide.
I'm not sleeping tonight.
It's so sad, because when you look at the photos, it's just like, oh my God,
that's horrible.
Yeah.
Do they have, like, some type of... I know you said the statues, but is there another, like, memorial for them? Or, like...
I'm sure there is in that area of the Congo.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. But it's just like...
Oh, that is terrible.
Yeah, and it's so sad because we were never taught that in high school. Never taught it in middle school. But it's a real thing, because that should be taught in world history.
Definitely.
Because it is one of the bigger genocides, because this was before the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And they pretty much just took out for greed, for capital. So.
My God. Well, that was fun.
Sorry. I've been really, since we started this podcast, I was like, I really want to do this one. I really want to look into it. Like, I really want to do it. So when you're like, Africa, I was like, yes,
you're like, this is my opportunity. Let's go.
Pretty much.
Oh, goodness. Now we have to talk about what we learned.
What did you learn?
Oh, God, there's so many things. People are assholes, and there's a lot of stuff in history that we don't know.
That's pretty much, that's what I learned, was that freaking money isn't everything.
Oh, yeah.
Money is not everything because, as we have seen here and plenty of other times, it leads to greed.
Yeah.
And greed brings out the worst in everybody. And for Leopold II, you murdered millions because of it.
What a mess.
So,
oh my God, that's so sad.
Yeah, so definitely do more research into it. If I did anything wrong, call me out on it. I like to make sure I'm correct. Mm-hmm. There's just so many sources that can mix things up, because you hear from one thing, you hear from another, but...
You didn't have a book this week.
No, there's one. The book that I did get was from... It was called...
Oh, you did have a book.
Yeah, it was an actual book, but it's an ebook. I wanted to go to the library, but I didn't have time this week. But, I do have it. Sweet. Sometimes my computer takes forever. So this one is called Belgium in the Congo, 1885 through 1980. It is by Guy Van Themsisch.
Yep.
Van Themsisch.
Yeah.
Dear God.
That's right.
Yeah. And this other one is The Tragic State of the Congo from Decolonization to Dictatorship by Jeanne. Is that what? Yeah. M. Haskin.
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing.
I have another one.
Oh, okay. Another one, guys.
And then The History of Congo by... Oh, my God. I don't know how to... God, it's so tight. I need to go see an eye doctor.
Oh, same.
It's by C.H. Didier Gondola.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I like sourcing. I don't think I sourced some of my other ones.
Yeah,
last week.
Kind of been slacking in that the last couple weeks, but maybe we can always just edit it and bring them back.
Yeah.
The sources in.
With my books, I try to do it in the episode just so.
Yeah.
I hope I do it right, but it's easier when I have the physical book in front of me, but it was kind of hard this week, so.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's so much easier to read from books because they actually did crazy research for years to write their books.
Right.
So.
Well, that was a fun episode, guys.
Thank you for joining.
So lighthearted. Yeah, remember to follow us on social media.
Where can you find us?
You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on the Facebooks. At Historia the Podcast. You can also email us at historiathepodcast@gmail.com.
Give us some ideas. We'd love to know.
Yeah. Yes, or just send us a message. Yell at us if you want. Doesn't matter.
If you want to see pictures of my pets.
Yes.
Kyla's pet.
Right. Well, maybe you'll see those one day. Remember, we have a new episode every Saturday morning. They come out at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. So, it's Mountain Standard Time.
Yes.
That's what it's called. What else? Yeah. Live your life. Be nice to people.
Please do. And don't be so greedy.
Yeah, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy.
No, money
be a good person.
Everything. Be a good person, yes.
All right, stay tuned for next week. We will have a more lighthearted episode.
Thank God.
It's going to be a wild one, so.
Oh, yay.
You don't want to miss it.
All right.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.